So, as you sit there now, you may begin to wonder what it might feel like to simply allow all these ideas to begin sinking deeper into your mind. Because there's something remarkable that happens when the conscious mind pretends to forget, and the unconscious mind begins to remember truth it always knew. Because there are people who walk into a room, they don't even know yet that their energy has already shifted to space. Yet there are others who walk into that same room, knowing with certainty that their presence is a gift. And the beautiful secret is you're both and neither. And something far greater, learning, evolving, playing. Now imagine a person standing before a mirror. One version sees a reflection. Maybe they glance quickly, modestly, unconvinced. The other gazes with full certainty, fully aware of their magnetism. Same face, different frame. The frames shape reality because belief is the architect of perception. And just as the sculptor doesn't carve the statue, but removes the stone hiding it, you too are simply uncovering, revealing, reclaiming all the beliefs that have always been yours. You didn't need to create confidence. You only needed to recognize it. Because when you realize your thoughts sculpt the world, it becomes obvious, doesn't it, that confidence is a choice. You practice into identity. And I wonder if you ever noticed that people don't follow beauty or intellect or status. They follow energy, emotion, certainty. And it's funny how certainty doesn't come from being right. It comes from being aligned. And alignment comes from owning who you are completely. Now isn't it interesting? The person who says, I'm enough, doesn't need approval, and so receives it effortlessly, while the one who chases validation finds it always running ahead, just out of reach, and so becomes obvious. The key is not to become more, but to become more of yourself. You're now beginning to understand, aren't you, that every attractive, radiant, magnetic being isn't trying to be those things. They've simply decided they are. They act as if, speak as if, move as if, until that as if becomes I am. When you act from that place, the world responds accordingly. You remember now how children play, unfiltered, untamed, unafraid. They don't ask, am I worthy of attention? They simply express, explore, embody. And you can return to that too. You are returning, even now, with every breath. You're already reprogramming, rewriting, rewiring, not by effort, but by permission. Because when the mind stops grasping, the heart starts guiding. And a curious thing happens. When you look at someone who doesn't know they're attractive, and notice how their humility, their innocence, creates a magnetic force even more powerful than the most polished persona. It's not about being unaware. It's about being unattached. And the most beautiful, they're often the ones who forget to care about how they're seen and remembered how to see others instead. That's charisma, that's energy, that's love in motion. If you also noticed, the most confident people, they often speak the least. They listen deeply, because connection isn't built with words, but with presence. And now you're remembering that presence is what people really want from you. Not performance, not perfection, just you. So what happens when someone deeply believes that failure is just feedback? That every awkward moment, every missed cue, every challenge is simply an invitation to grow, to level up. Isn't that what life is, a game? And now you're remembering, you've always known how to play. The rules were just suggestions. And somewhere inside you already know that emotional mastery doesn't mean feeling nothing. It means feeling everything, without being ruled by it. You don't suppress emotions, you dance with them, you process them, you transmute them, because emotional intelligence is power disguised as softness. And the moment you let go of the need to be liked, you become magnetic. Because that detachment, that's freedom. And in freedom, you find flow. And in flow, you find yourself. So now, as your unconscious continues installing these truths deeper and deeper, you begin to notice. You naturally speak differently, move differently, see differently. Not because you're trying, but because it's who you are now. And others will feel it, without knowing why. That's influence, that's transformation. That's the new operating system, already running in the background. From now on, you live as if I'm attractive because I exist. My presence is a blessing. People feel safe, inspired, and seen around me. I speak to unconscious minds with every glance, word, and silence. The strongest frame I hold is love for myself and others. Every interaction is a chance to play, grow, lead, and uplift. And with each example, each breath, each new moment of embodiment, you're effortlessly proving these truths to yourself, to your posture, your presence, your patterns. You've installed it now, and it's growing roots quietly, powerfully, automatically. Because you're not remembering something new. You're remembering who you've always been. And isn't that beautifully inevitable?